There's been some really fantastic developments in anti-doping in the time that I've been involved. What the Australian Olympic Committee did though was to say we want to make sure that every Australian athlete is treated exactly the same, no matter whether you're a tennis player or a canoeist or a rugby league player. North Korea played at the World Championships a little bit prior to the Asian qualifiers. 5 of their players went positive because they had apparently been administered deer musk for a treatment that they said resulted out of a lightning strike.
I think it's true to say that while anti-doping law has its distinct developments, it's also one example of a much broader pattern of ever-expanding, ever more detailed and intrusive regulatory schemes. Traditionally, of course, human rights have been about the obligations of the state. But sports regulation and doping procedures originally and are still fundamentally in many ways embodied in private legal relations in the form essentially of contractual arrangements. What is the significance of consent? Is the consent real? How do we make that assessment?
There are some problems with the code. There are some problems that need to be thought about and balanced. What about the many participants who are under 18 years of age? What are going to be their protections? What about injections? Half-time in any big football game, everyone knows the injection happens at half-time. What about if I get a knee replacement? Isn't that performance enhancing? Shouldn't it, in an era gone by, be the end of my career?
A US football player is currently suing his former team and a pharmaceutical company that is associated with his former team. And he alleged they gave him pain-killing injections that led to a heart attack. That jeopardised his potential NFL career. Seems pretty likely to me that there's a ticking bomb here. Clubs, trainers, coaches and other professionals may actually, if they are indiscriminately or fairly laxly prescribing and giving these sorts of doping substances to their athletes, may well be finding that they're at the receiving end of litigation.
Anti-doping regulation, and particularly the WADA code, are based on the idea of a creation of a level playing field for pure competition in sport. So while we want sport to be fair and we take elaborate steps to make sure that no competitor has an advantage in terms of use of performance-enhancing drugs, there can never really be a contest amongst true equals due to the physical differences between individuals. The complexity of the code means it's difficult for athletes to fully understand its principles of liability and punishment.
Australians, of course, are pristine and we're all fabulously clean, and it's the other countries that we really can't trust.
In terms of the code itself, it's mad. As in terms of when someone needs to sit down and say it's mad, and actually, yes, there is a problem.
One of the things that really disturbs me is that some of the things are about things that everybody uses all the time. And asking people to not do that just seems so unreasonable.